The role of the early childhood practitioner is vital in the learning and development of young children. Research has shown that early childhood education has a great impact on life outcomes. In order to be effective and efficient in their field, early childhood practitioners should first understand their roles as educators. This documentary was made with the aim of providing early childhood practitioners with information that will allow for a better understanding of their roles. Our goal is for early childhood practitioners to use this information to help in the delivery of a high quality service that will meet the needs of young children and their families. It is crucial that early childhood practitioners understand their role as educators in order to meet the needs of young children and their families. Many theorists stress the importance of the role of early childhood practitioners in planning, observation, and assessment, all of which are essential for the growth and development of young children. Lack of understanding of these roles can have long-term consequences for children and their families. The role of parents is also essential to the development of their children. Therefore, it is also important that practitioners understand how the role of parents impacts their role as early childhood educators. Children develop through their relationships with parents and caregivers. Uwe Bronfenbrenner's ecological theory also suggests that children's development is greatly impacted by the relationship between the different environments in which the child interacts. So, there is a need for early childhood practitioners to work together for the development of the child. Early childhood practitioners also need to have a clear understanding of their roles and responsibilities in order to achieve the best use of various expertise in support of children and their families. This will allow practitioners to collaborate with other professionals and stakeholders and to provide appropriate interventions required for the holistic development of the child.
To be an early childhood practitioner, one must understand the roles and responsibilities of a practitioner. Your first responsibility is to observe. Observation allows you to better understand the children's learning style. Knowing this allows you to plan. Planning entails activities that will encourage learning. These activities should be fun. When carrying out activities, the role of the practitioner is to be a guide. Guiding children allows them to be a participant of their own learning. After each lesson, the practitioner is supposed to assess the students. Assessment ensures that learning actually took place. There's two forms of assessment. There's summative assessment and formative assessment. A practitioner is expected to build positive relationship with both students and parents. Both teacher and parent are supposed to collaborate, as this helps the student to encourage positive attitudes towards learning. Connection with parents can be done through many different medias.
Parents plays a vital role in the early childhood institution. It is important when we as individuals understand the role of parents and how they impact the role of the early childhood educators. These roles, however, include effective communication, the involvement in the life of the school, and the involvement in children's homework. Let's look at effective communication, where parents use technology to their advantage and communicate with the teacher of their children. using WhatsApp, Facebook, Skype, telephone, and text messaging. When parents and teachers have a common understanding as it relates to communication, then the children will be greatly benefited in the early childhood classroom.
Get the child's attention first. Get down to the child's level and engage their attention before speaking or asking a question.
Maisie, that's an eagle.
Young children find it difficult to listen and carry on with an activity at the same time. Saying their name first encourages them to stop and listen. Make learning language fun. Play around with words, sounds and sentences.
Should we go in the water and do bubbles? Should we do babble, 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 babble?
Don't be afraid to talk in funny voices or have daft conversations. The more children see you experimenting with language, the more likely they'll be to do it themselves. And experimenting with language is a vital aspect of learning.
Babble, 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 babble.
Use simple, repetitive language.
It's not hot. It was hot, now it's not hot.
Is yours hot?
No.
Ben, is yours hot?
Hot,
Is it hot?
hot, hot. It might be cold.
Maisie said it's cold.
Repeat your words slowly and clearly. Saying things more than once helps children to join in and pick up new words.
Do you want some water, Jaden? Yes?
I'm cold too.
You want some water, okay. Alex, would you like to have some water?
Build on what a child says to you. Speaking very clearly, add one or more words to the child's sentence.
That is a rabbit.
That
It is a rabbit.
A sheep.
That is a sheep.
Come on, our house.
At your house? Do you have chicken at your house?
Come on, our house.
At your house too. Do you have chicken at your
my
house?
house too.
Yeah, I have chicken at my house.
By doing this, you'll be signalling that you've heard what they've said and modelling the next stage of language development. Demonstrate the right way, rather than criticise mistakes. Praise children's efforts, even if the results aren't perfect.
Do you know the name of this type of bird?
Carrot.
That's right, it sounds like carrot, doesn't it? It's a
Really?
parrot.
If a child makes an error in a word or a sentence, simply say the correct version rather than pointing out the mistake. For example, if a child says, "I goed to the park," you might say, "Wow, so you went to the park." Imitate the child's language.
Got red and orange.
With very young children, simply imitate their words and sentences.
Orange. Well done. Clever boy, Marcel.
This will show them that you're valuing their words and will encourage them to keep on talking. Use all the child's senses to help them learn new words. This makes learning new vocabulary fun and memorable. For example, if you're teaching the names of fruits, encourage the child to feel and smell the various fruits as they learn the words.
To feel the skin on the melon. Oh, is that rough? Feel that skin.
Another idea is to use familiar songs and rhymes as a learning tool by missing out words for the child to fill in.
Ready? Ba ba.
Black sheep.
Have you any? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 3 bags. 1 for the master and 1 for the... And 1 for the little boy who lives down the... Well done.
Give children time to respond. Children often need time to put their thoughts together before answering, so give them longer to respond than you would with an adult. Make sure to maintain eye contact as you wait for them to complete their remark.
It came from the apple.
Was that on your apple? Do you know what that was?
Yeah.
What was it?
On my A pig.
It was a pig.
Be careful with questions. Try not to ask too many questions, especially ones that sound like they're constantly testing the child. The best questions are those that challenge the child to think, rather than give an instant answer like yes or no. Too many questions can easily block the flow of natural conversation.
See it come now?
Is it coming through? Well done. How did you do that?
Bang it.
You were banging it through. Well done.
An alternative is simply to comment on what the child is doing. This shows you're interested in what's going on and allows you to model the language that goes with the activity.
Hey, look!
Climbing.
He can climb like Spider-Man.
Is he like Spider-Man climbing up the walls? Right to the top. Be careful, Spider-Man.
Your comments will keep their focus on the activity and help the child to extend their attention span. Use the full range of expression. Speak in a lively, animated voice and use gestures and facial expressions to back up your words. You'll be giving more clues about what your words mean, which can be very useful if the child's struggling to understand language.
It wasn't hot, it was a bit... It was... Ooh, I can't eat that. It was too cold. Excellent, Archie.
You'll also be demonstrating the importance of non-verbal communication.
Bye-bye, everyone. See you soon. Bye-bye, everyone.